I'd like to start off by saying, damn you, sinus monster, for all of your hoe ass activity. You're nothing but a leech. You steal my joy, and you will never be anything other than a leech.
Damn. 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 Okay. Well,
that might be hot though.
Not. Yeah, we have to redo some shit that's been done to make it that much better.
All I'm saying is, I feel like you should get a hold of that sound bite and go to work so we can get these monies. We need a Broken Pencil Logic official mixtape, and I feel like I should lose my mind on it.
We need to get like some. We gotta build a playlist, a Broken Pencil playlist.
Oh, that too. We need an official playlist for the show, but I feel like we should actually on some MC DJ.
Yeah,
shit.
I'm with it.
Get with it.
Yeah, we are with the shit.
We are with the shit.
Yeah.
I have a couple of ideas about some stuff to do. I want to say it on the podcast, but I don't want to say it on the podcast because if you run off and somebody runs off and steals my shit, I'm gonna be upset.
So it's a rap, shawty.
I'm gonna be scathing in my commentary.
Yeah, keep that to yourself, pimp.
But I feel like I got intellectual property if I say it out loud.
You kind of do, but it's not going to stop anyone from still doing it.
It's not, but it gives me grounds to show my ass.
Like, I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
The missus did a podcast, and with her podcast, she did, shouts out Discover You Today, she did it's like a video montage for like loving yourself.
Uh-huh.
And somebody, I'm not going to say his name, another famous self-help guru, doctor type cat, did the exact same thing.
Is that really big teeth?
Maybe.
Okay.
He did the exact same thing and didn't use the same words, but it was the exact same premise and almost the exact same format.
You know what I've come to realize in all these years of entertainment, and I knew it, but I didn't believe it. Most of the times, it's not the figurehead that does the stealing, because usually they're not quite as well versed. It's somebody on their staff that spends their entire day looking for content and stuff to pull.
But how whack is it that person who finds that shit is okay with how whack is it that the person who needs the stuff for their enjoyment, for their benefit, is the one that says, you know what they're doing is dope. Yeah, I want to do that same shit.
The entertainment industry is full of chicken shit motherfuckers.
Nas said it best. No idea is original.
This is true. Now that part is true. You may put your own spin on it, but the actual common denominator, down to brass tacks, the idea is the same. You just come up with a different way to present it.
Speaking of different way to present shit.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Broken Pencil Podcast.
You dig? Do you feel how smooth the conversation was when the podcast started? Do you realize that we are out here serving you nothing but life-altering information?
We are the Broken Pencil Booking Company. I am Wood.
You stay classy, Internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
Man, listen. Episode 12. We got some heat.
12. Loop 12.
The Dirty Dozen. If you will.
If you will.
We got a nice little agenda.
We sliding down from the rafters on a zip line. This is the Iron Man episode, you bitches. You bitches. Super Sock Jose Lothario is in our corner.
What's in that bottle of body armor?
I've been in the gym today. I feel energized.
You got a lot of testosterone there. I'm floating. I took a muscle relaxer at work.
Shout out to the missus for the post-workout.
Hey, that's what it is. He got that glow.
What's up, Naomi? Why don't you come through do the podcast or whatever? You know what I'm saying, shawty? Come on, glow with us.
One time for the one time.
One time for the one time. You know, what's up with the what's up? Yeah, with the yeah.
Already.
All right,
episode 12 this week.
Yeah. We're chock full of show.
So, Super Showdown over in Australia.
That happened.
We'll talk about that in detail.
We will.
We'll talk about WWE Evolution, the first all-women's pay-per-view ever.
ever.
Speaking of ever, we have an argument.
We do?
Of why Y2J, Chris Jericho, should be in conversations as being one of, if not the GOAT.
Y2J GOAT talk.
We got the top 20 Smackdown superstars of all time as performed and delivered by their Broken Pencil Booking Company.
Yeah, see, WWE keeps giving us stuff and we keep taking it and making it better. They put out a meme that listed the top 5 SmackDown superstars of all time. First of all, we disagreed with the list. Second of all, we said...
Let's start with that.
First of all, we disagreed with the list somewhat. There are some people who belong on there, some people who didn't make it, who belonged on the list. We said, forget this. Broken Pencil Logic says we don't put boundaries on ourselves. We gonna take day 5 and make it 20.
And give you good reason to think about those who we did not put on that list.
Can you dig it?
Have mercy.
Bees that way sometimes.
Shout out to the Iceman.
King
Also, we have. There's no reason for us to do a top 20 SmackDown stars of all time if we don't do our due diligence to recap SmackDown 1000.
SmackDown 1000 just happened. We saw it. We felt a way about it. We're gonna tell you how we felt and why.
There's that.
And we got bonus. Got a bonus segment. So there's another meme. There's WWE giving us stuff and we take it and we make it better. The Bellas turned on Ronda Rousey on Raw this past Monday. Well, actually the Monday before this past one.
Yeah, because this Monday was why.
Yeah.
Why Bella's why.
Yeah, why Bella's why, and Ronda was out shooting slugs. So WWE makes this top 5 list of betrayals in WWE history. First of all, the list was wrong. Second of all, the list was not expansive enough. So we took the list, said, screw your list, screw your 5. We're gonna do 10, and we're gonna do all time ever anywhere.
And we got some good ones. We dug deep into the archives. We went from, we
got the sauce.
We went from my favorite area, Mid-South. We went to world class because we had to represent for Texas one time.
ECW's on this list.
ECW's on the list.
WCW's on this list.
WWE.
WWF is on this list.
Get the F out. Get the F out.
Yeah, before they got the F out, we put the F on the list. We cooking sauce.
Roll with us or get rolled over. This is what happens.
Look, this is a movement. You either move with it or move out the way.
We got the hashtags. We got Broken Pencil Logic.
You can't write this.
Mark my words.
With the shit.
Folk Life Shouting. We got another one, but we can't talk about that one.
Wait, what's the one we can't talk about? We talk about anything here.
We can.
Wait. I'm trying to.
It's the one that started with the yellow and red.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little bit too much right now.
No. That's a good hashtag though, because there's no cursing in that hashtag. It's just one of those things like
it is.
Oh no, Petty Messiah's version is full of curse words.
Shouts out to the Petty Messiah.
What up, Petty?
The 6-man tag team champions with us.
Indeed,
he holds the belts for the 6-man tag. He is the 6-man tag team champions.
He's the Mr. Fuji to our powers of pain. He is throwing salt in people's eyes. Yeah,
with zero fucks given.
Zero.
Yeah,
with a top hat on and a cane.
At BrokenpencilBC on everything, all things social. BrokenpencilBC@gmail.com is going to be our email address.
We do have a Google number, but we ain't taking no calls tonight, so
whatever. Yeah. But you can
feel
free.
Call your mama. Check in with your family.
Your mama.
your mama.
All right, so Super Showdown was heavily touted for one major reason, because it was billed with the main event of having Triple H go against Undertaker one last time.
One time for the last time.
And for the most part, it was a very entertaining match. We'll run down the card, but I want to start with this one in particular because this match is actually taking us to Crown Jewel, which we will have to talk about to some degree on this show, which we didn't talk about in the agenda, but it's going to get some time.
Because we can discuss it a little bit.
Yeah, we got to.
We ain't doing no tripping.
Nah. But the match itself, man. So Triple H starts the match off mocking the Undertaker to the point of sheer laughter, like from a bottom barrel place in your gut out to the universe.
I love the fact we started with main event and working our way back down. This is pretty hot. I like this. I like what you're doing right now.
Well, there's a reason for that particular with me, and it has to do with the match just before this one. So if you have the WWE Network, you need to go check out the Super Showdown, I guess, special event.
First of all, how did you end up listening to us and you haven't seen Super Showdown?
Maybe you need to find some time to go back and check this shit around.
I'll be real. This is not a novice situation that we're doing over here. Like, this is for people to get acclimated, but you got to know some shit going on to fool with us like that.
No doubt.
Like, you don't just stumble on gold like this. You go mining for it. You go mining for these diamonds.
So
come on with your thoughts on this main event.
So we had Triple H acting a plum fool.
Plum fool.
We had Shawn Michaels. And let me tell you, he bought some tickets to the gun show and he got his money back in spades.
I noticed that about a month ago when he popped back up on TV. I say, hey, that is not a retired man. That's not retired man Shawn Michaels. He been in the Performance Center and he been going through some drills.
No doubt. And then you have Kane, who still looks like he's in 1998 Isaac Yankem.
The mayor of Tennessee.
The mayor of Knox County.
Knox County, Tennessee.
400,000 plus constituents.
Like, Kane out here with chest hair, so he is so far removed from the life. It's like, I ain't got to shave nothing no more. Like, come on, fam, manscape.
And this match culminates with a curtain call after let's take a no disqualification match.
Yep.
Take a gimmick in a no disqualification match and throw it all the way, only to use the same gimmick. You know the sledgehammer is going to get used. You know a super kick is coming if Shawn Michaels in the building.
Think about the last 5 Triple H matches you've seen. Has the sledgehammer been absent from any of them?
I can't recall a one.
I can't either.
I cannot recall a one where the sledgehammer has been absent.
There was a sledgehammer at WrestleMania and it was a mixed tag match. Like, bro, any opportunity you get to put Triple H in the ring, there's going to be a sledgehammer involved. Just know this.
The game hammer, if you will.
I'm just saying, bro, we aiming for prizes.
But the curtain call, though. So you stand in the middle of the ring. On the outside, you have Undertaker and Kane. And in the middle of this line, you have Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Only for the ill-timed now to turn into Kane's weak side, Undertaker's strong side, to sock the shit out of both of them.
Kawam!
And go to a post-match brawl that tears up the announce table, the American announce table. Mm-hmm. Now, they couldn't even do justice to the Spanish announce table. They just hit the American announce table and said, we out of here.
If you're in Australia, do you call it the Spanish announce table?
It's still the Spanish announce table.
Were there Spanish announcers there?
I believe so. I believe.
Are you certain?
I believe. No, I'm not certain.
Carlos Cabrera? Tito Santana?
Hugo Savinovich.
Mil Mascaras. No yab. No yab.
No yab. So that sets us up for Crown Jewel. We'll have Undertaker and Kane versus Shawn Michaels and Triple H, also being billed as the return of DX.
Do they work a regular tag match, or is it going to be like a tornado street fight type thing?
I'm sure it's going to start off with tornadoes, but eventually someone's going to be holding the tag rope.
Because here's the thing that I really wonder about. Because number one, I feel like it might be more entertaining if they had a street fight type situation to where there's just chaos all over everywhere. But I don't think Shawn Michaels coming back is going to be sold anything other than, like, there's going to be that moment where Shawn tags in and the place is going to go nuts.
Well, let's be honest. If we're going to have this match where it's supposed to be held at, which for all intents and purposes they have removed the name of where they're going.
Tough times.
What about Blood says is cool about that? The show that in Saudi Arabia, when women can't even cross the waters to join the fracas,
because you have dignitaries sitting in the crowd with gold choppers. They're not avert to violence.
I totally agree. But do they want their kids seeing that blood? Because it's going.
Fam, you got a whole assault rifle in tow in the stadium.
Factual.
Under your seat, like merchandise from the concession stand. Now how you put your drink up under your seat?
Right.
That man got an assault rifle.
Straight up chopper.
He got the strap. He ain't got to get the strap because he got the strap.
Hashtag.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to get the strap if you got the strap.
If you got the strap.
He got the strap. I mean, to me, that's like, you splitting hairs. Like, oh, I don't want you bleeding in front of my kids, but I do have an assault rifle right here. Just in case. Like, fam, you could have left it in the car. Nah, I need it right here. And it's gold, so I can't lose it.
Oh, man.
I want one, by the way, if anybody has a plug on that.
Yeah, there's a gun show coming near you real soon.
Gold.
Before that match,
yeah,
we had Daniel Bryan and The Miz, which seemed like every bit of 15 seconds.
This is trash. It really was like 2-3 minutes.
2 minutes, 25 seconds was
trash. Trash. I don't support this at all. I don't care. Trash. Trash.
A simple small package cradle ended the match.
Trash.
And there was virtually no follow-up other than on SmackDown when The Miz had the most anticipated promo we have seen on SmackDown in quite some time.
Most anticipated promo since he went back to SmackDown.
We actually tuned in specifically to see what he was going to say in relationship to this loss.
We figured he was going to shoot.
And he did. He didn't disappoint. It just could have been.
He told the truth.
Could have been longer, but that's what shooting is. You shoot.
Had we still had Talking Smack, it would have been way better.
Way better, way longer.
Bring back Talking Smack.
Bring back all the post-show
But
shows.
Specifically bring back Talking Smack.
Talking Smack was what it was.
I was a fan of Talking Smack. Renee needs more to do because she's a fantastic person in that role.
And she's way better at like a post-match scenario than she is on the commentary. And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve to be on commentary.
I think she's still trying to find her identity as far as in a 3-person booth.
She's got to jump in because Corey ain't going to let her breathe.
I mean, that's who Corey Graves is. That's why Corey Graves is in the position he's in now. Because, I mean, he is who he is.
Running up the card now from the bottom, we got the New Day versus.
Did I tell you I thought Daniel Bryan versus The Miz was trash?
I believe you just said that.
For the way that they job Miz out. I understand it fits in with the character, and the dream match was being booked with, DB and AJ, but Miz is the guy right now. What are we doing?
So did you mention that it was trash?
If I didn't, give me this opportunity to say The Miz losing. Trash.
All right.
Basura.
Back on it, we got the New Day, who was represented by Kofi Kingston and
New Day.
Woods. And they beat.
Did you go back to the top?
The bar, yeah. We're at the top now. We're not going in reverse. We at the top.
Oh, okay.
Now.
I thought we were going in reverse.
No. I was specifically talking about those two first because those had the most impact on the rest of the show.
Okay, I feel what you're doing. I'm passenger in the car. Drive.
Yeah, but we rolling.
Skirt.
So New Day versus Bar. That 10-minute match. I mean, just under 10 minutes with one of the cleanest finishes I've ever seen from a tag team.
That finish was dope. They don't have bad matches together. Like the Bar specifically, I don't really see them have bad matches. The New Day, for the most part, unless, it's just something completely out of their wheelhouse, they don't really have bad matches. But together, it's money.
Which is why New Day will be talked about later on in the show.
Okay.
And with reverence. Charlotte versus Becky was the second match of the night. And
they could have been a little higher on the card. But
I get it. It could have been.
I get it.
And Charlotte won only because Becky decided she wanted to whoop Charlotte's ass with the belt.
So, okay, on a serious note, like, why is there a reason that every time they go overseas, either the women are opening the card or not there at all? Is it just a culture thing?
I think in this case, it was only because like the only place higher you could have put this match on the card would have been after AJ and Joe. Because after that match, we had Ronda and the Bellas.
Looking at the card, I would have swapped Rousey and the Bella Twins for Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
Or worst case scenario, I would have swapped Charlotte and Becky for the Iconics versus Asuka and Naomi.
I'm good with either scenario.
Yeah,
I'm good with either scenario because you're doing Ronda Rousey for the pop. You're putting Ronda Rousey on this card because Australia probably has never been able to see her.
To that point, let's get this Iconics crap out the way. Iconics versus Asuka and Naomi.
Meh.
The only reason why this match is on the cards because the Iconics are at home You're not supposed to win like that at home, and it happened twice.
Are we starting to see as far as overseas shows, because they don't do it when they're doing the U.S. tour of duty? Are we starting to see that particular tradition in WWE or just in pro wrestling start to die, where you can't win at home? Because Ember Moon won here in Dallas. She was a part of a victory.
Who did she face? There, exactly.
Good point.
So,
Still.
I don't know if it's part of a growing trend because, I mean, let's face it, Asuka and Naomi haven't been that high on the card anyway.
They
on SmackDown.
The disrespect.
The blatant disrespect.
Oh, the
Meanwhile,
disrespect is so thick in here.
The Iconics have never been as high on the SmackDown card as they were on this pay-per-view.
They've never been as high as the fourth match.
I'm not saying that as far as match order. I'm talking about in terms of
profile,
fan reaction.
I got you.
Story build, all that type of stuff.
I mean, and it's smart. I mean, it's just like, a rapper, when you go to a city, you wear the home team's jersey.
Yeah, and well, they definitely put that bad boy on. Put the home jersey and the third color alternate. They had it ready. We saw the return of John Cena alongside Bobby Lashley versus Elias and Kevin Owens. And man,
you got to understand why we're laughing, because there's an inside joke because of John Cena's new haircut.
JCL.
John Cena Layfield. Come on, bro. Either fade it or come on, do something.
The soccer dad hair is not hip. Like, I'd rather see a buzz cut.
It's investment banker. I mean, and here's the thing.
Risk-taking investment banker.
Yeah. Just, you got to pay. First of all, you got to patch that hole in the roof. You got water coming in directly into the living room. You've got to patch that hole in the roof. And growing it out all around does not hide the fact that you need to patch that hole in the roof. If that's what you did it for, it failed.
Also, do not spray the hole in the roof.
No. Don't spray. Go ahead and get the follicle treatment. Get the Dion treatment.
Bosley.
I'm saying, Cena, like, if we're gonna do this Hollywood jump right, correctly, I understand you've cut weight. You're in the gym. You getting through.
Slimmer than ever. He about 235. I give it to him.
Slim and trim, ready to go.
235 live.
Streamlined.
New wave Cena.
If there's a light heavyweight championship to be had, Cena might be in contention.
He's one weight cut away from being able to do whatever he wants to do within the company.
Wow. But what I need you to do is patch the hole in the roof.
All right, fast forward. We got we don't even want to talk about the match. That's all. That was the whole match.
There was nothing there for
John
us.
Cena Layfield.
Nothing there.
Joe versus AJ. Again, no DQ, no count out.
I want better for Joe. Joe has had an outstanding series of matches with AJ.
What to me, like, every match is better than the one before, and they're getting so much better than the
It's
ones.
the exact same thing with Shinsuke. I'm like, they're just lining up challengers to give AJ a really good run, and then let the streak continue. But I want better for Joe at some point, and not even better. I want a championship. I want a world championship on Samoa Joe, because I feel like he is the guy to be like that dominant heel champion, and then you really put somebody over by dethroning him.
But the story to me here is the fact that you have your WWE champion on 5th on a 10-match card.
That's pretty disrespectful too. So what you're telling me is that the champion is on 5th, but the match to decide his next challenger is next to last.
That's almost as disrespectful as putting the actual Universal Champion in a 6-man tag match in a match that's not even the main event.
Be clear. When Triple H versus The Undertaker was announced, that was the main event.
True.
Under no circumstances were you going to see a situation where that wasn't going on last.
Factual. Now, that said, are you going to Swab Burgundy?
Personally,
are you going to move the match placement for this match anywhere else on the card? Because there's only one other place you can put it.
For which match?
The triple threat, or for me the 6-man tag match between the Shield and the War Dogs.
On the cool, Me personally, because I have my wheelhouse is from a different era. I'd have put them on first. There are no implications. Nothing comes out of this that changes anything on television. They should go on first.
Looking at that and the fact that the very first match was the tag team championship match for SmackDown, you are absolutely right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And so that takes us to...
This is where we insert applause in the post-edit. Oh, man, I'm having a good time.
Yes, you are.
Another round for everybody.
I'm sober tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
What happened?
Nothing.
You clean living?
No, man.
Just nothing, yeah.
You know, I do have a 9 to 5 too, man, and it's...
I understand. I do understand. You got to be ready when duty calls.
I woke up and had to deal with this damn outage on Monday and kick my feet up at the crib. And as I kicked my feet up at the crib, I'm not realizing this until like 1 o'clock in the morning that I was supposed to be at work when my feet were kicked up at the crib.
I woke up early this morning, feeling a new shine on my life. Realized I had to be at work.
Man,
bruh,
the worst.
Yeah, that outage was absolutely horrible. Like, I was on the verge of kicking off the purge.
Shouts out to the phone calls that I got asking me about, you know, when the service is going to be back up. My response was the same time as mine.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't have the same service.
For real, it's like, you know, we not, yeah. I mean, just keep it real, bro. We all out here suffering, so you should have a contingency plan. That just shows you how vulnerable everything is. Like, if internet goes away, people are walking around here pacing, about ready to fist fight.
Yeah, it was situation critical for a number of people, but me, I enjoyed the disconnect.
I did too, and thank God I hadn't thrown away all my DVDs.
We had another homecoming. Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander in a Cruiserweight Championship match.
It was time.
Buddy Murphy won at home. And I mean, not for nothing.
Did you hear the pop he got?
Monstrous.
It sounded
Monster
like
pop.
He sounded like a full-fledged superstar. Like they had a superstar on their hands.
Like
right
main
then.
eventer. Like if they don't capitalize off of that, it's only because that crowd was hotter than any crowd they could ever see in the States.
Am I and this is just a random question. Am I wrong to think that going forward the Cruiserweight Champion should maybe defend on TakeOver?
No. The thing is, on takeovers, ooh,
that way you get to make the Cruiserweight Championship more high profile in front of a crowd who's going to
actually
specifically appreciate that type of wrestling.
I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that at all. Even if it's a house, like not a house show, even if it's for the NXT TV taping.
I mean that too. I feel like yes, the champion should appear on NXT tapings, but I actually want to see the Cruiserweight Champion defend at TakeOver.
I'm with that. Like
instead of always taking up the pre-show of the main card, like get a featured spot on TakeOver.
I think it's very intriguing. I would like to see that in a prominent role because TakeOver's like 5 match cards.
Right. I feel like they'd be better received.
So you're adding one more match. So unless like even if you spread that evenly, you're still going to get enough action to where you're going to salivate for more. I'm with having those Cruiserweight Championship matches on there, especially now since you're having so many belts commingle. So you're having like the North American title, which is new, of course, the NXT title, the NXT tag team titles. You got Pete Dunne with the UK belt.
UK tag belts.
Eventually, you're going to have the UK tag belts. But those belts are fire, fam.
Man, they are nice.
Those belts are fire.
I almost was like, hey, bro, you want to go ahead and...
We might need to put under our deposit for those belts, man.
Either that or we're going to get our own belts designed.
Something. Yes.
If you're a belt designer and you want the opportunity to design the Broken Pencil Tag Team Championships of the world, BrokenpencilBC at gmail.com is where you want to go.
Please send us that information and anything that you need us
we
to
got
send
money.
Yeah, we'll make this work.
We got dollars.
And so, lastly, on this card, rounding it out, we had the Shield versus Braun Strowman. No, I'm sorry. Let's back up.
Who we miss? Oh, you missed Rousey.
Rousey and the Bella Twins
Yawn.
versus the Riot Squad.
Yawn.
And
Yawn.
The next match is the Shield versus the War Dogs.
The Bella Twins sneak out another payday.
And now I'm done talking about the match that fast. I'm done. The Shield versus War Dogs, man.
They don't have bad matches together.
The chemistry is there, as evidenced by an almost 20-minute match.
Yep.
The third longest match of the night, and they made it count. And I mean, this is probably as good of a tag match as we've seen since the Shield going against the Wyatt family.
Yes, absolutely agreed.
Yeah, total destruction, and not even in a no disqualification match. It was just a straight up match, and it was just a good match in which the Shield actually gets the win. And Dino still out here flapping in the wind.
I was wondering if they were gonna dead that storyline because they won. Well, they turned around and did it 2 weeks. They did the same match 2 weeks in a row, and they found a way to rekindle the storyline. At this point, my office pool says the Shield doesn't break up till WrestleMania season.
Broken Pencil Logic says it's definitely going to happen before then because we are in the fall and we know not much can usually come good here in the fall.
We're not that far away from Royal Rumble time.
No, not at all.
That's when I kind of have it, somewhere in the Royal Rumble situation. That's kind of where I have things hitting the fan.
Not to mention, we're coming up on rapidly after Crown Jewel. We're coming up on SummerSlam, Survivor Series.
True that. Which you ain't really heard a whole lot about what the plans are. Normally stuff like that tends to leak, which for us might be a good thing.
And I'm debating on whether or not should we go over the card as is right now for Crown Jewel, because there's going to be some implications for Survivor Series based on the outcome of that card.
I don't necessarily see why we shouldn't. I mean, we are here to talk about things that happened during wrestling, so I mean, why not?
Fuck it, add it on. Let's see what we got.
So check it out. We're gonna pull up this preview.
Taking place on this coming Saturday at I want to say 5 a.m. or
wait.
No, that's Friday.
That's not this Saturday. I mean,
Crown Jewel. Oh, I'm sorry.
Not this Friday. It's 2 weeks from now.
Friday, November the 2nd.
November the 2nd.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now.
Today is
Year of Our Lord 2018. Thursday, October 18th.
Year of Our Lord. Never forget Year of Our Lord. So right now there are 4 official matches that have been announced per the WWE.com website. That would be champion AJ Styles defending against Daniel Bryan,
who earned his opportunity at the Super Showdown in a 2-minute and 25-second trash match.
I hope Miz gets involved. I hope it turns into a triple threat and Miz steals the belt. I hope Miz does the same thing to Daniel Bryan in that match as a triple threat, and he's the new champion.
The 8-man World Cup tournament.
Or as we refer to it in the Broken Pencil Logic text thread, the WWE G2. Bruh, we couldn't call this the King of the Ring.
It was a layup.
The pay-per-view is called Crown Jewel.
You have the greatest.
The graphic is a crown.
You have the greatest Royal Rumble, and then you turn around and come back with a Crown Jewel and have an 8-man tournament, 8-man World Cup tournament.
A one-night tournament.
The WWE World, and Vince hates tournaments. This might be the whole card. This might be the card.
This has to be a Triple H initiative. Has to be. Absolutely has to be.
Speaking of, good segue, The Game and Shawn Michaels as DX versus Kane and The Undertaker as the Brothers of Destruction.
After 8 years, the return of Shawn Michaels to a wrestling ring in active competition.
Who else do we get? Because I think this has got to be the last time we see a tag match between these clowns.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know.
Do we see a one-time returning Billy Gunn? Do we see from behind Gorilla? Do we see Jesse James?
I don't think you get a WrestleMania 31 situation like Triple H and Sting, where you have the
50-11 everybody.
You got the Ministry of Darkness jumping in, and then all the remaining members of DX. I don't think you get that. I think you might get Shawn Michaels Undertaker number, what would that be, 4? After this, maybe. But you do it in a match to where there's not so many expectations.
I can dig it.
But yeah.
And then you have rounding out the card the WWE Universal Championship
that no one's talking about.
Roman Reigns versus Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. And mind you, Brock is in fighting shape. Brock has been. I don't think Brock has ever been this lean
Brock
ever.
Is in beat your ass shape.
Brock is in run through you shape.
Brock is almost in like I'm ready to try out for the Vikings again shape.
Y'all ready? Shape. That's what that is.
Yeah, you cook my steak how? Shape.
All right, so
assuming this is still in Saudi Arabia, because we haven't heard anything yet. So assuming that this was going to still happen in Saudi Arabia, and it still is.
Which, for the record, should not, but I will not. I am not criticizing that record reflect. I am not criticizing.
Hey, I agree. Here's what I'm saying, though. How much money was put up to get Brock Lesnar, of all people, to agree to fly to Saudi Arabia?
To quote the great Jay-Z, about 40, 50 grand, cocksucker, beat it. 50
grand, I get this in one take.
I mean, he's getting paid upwards of 7 figures per appearance.
Already, just to appear within the continental United States.
And he's being on, chartered on privacy.
Oh, he ain't flying commercial.
Private debauchery.
I don't think, is anybody on the roster flying commercial? Like, for real? To go to Saudi Arabia?
Nah, not to go to Saudi Arabia. If nothing else,
impossible.
I mean, they might have a pilotless drone that's taking people over there for this one.
A pilotless drone,
man.
But yeah, I'm curious about that. Like, how much did it cost to get Brock Lesnar to say, "Yeah, I'll do it"?
After that first payday, he probably didn't take much at all. He's like, "Hey, Brock, we're going to. I'm in." So yeah, man.
That's the card.
I'm
still pissed about this World Cup not being King of the Ring.
Which it very well should be. When we come back, we are going to recap SmackDown 1000, and we're also going to talk about these top 20 SmackDown superstars, because they got to go hand in hand.
I feel like that works.
These are actually going to be probably the greatest misses, for the most part, of SmackDown 1000, because only a few people that was on our list showed up. The rest of these folks should have been there, and they should have been there twice in multiple segments.
Multiple.
We'll be right back. Broken Pencil BC on everything. Everything.
Going to Siegel's. Bring me some hot chips.
It happens every time like that.
But Wingstop, no one wants your boneless wings, bro.
Every time I order from Wingstop, would you like bone-in or boneless? There's no such thing as a boneless wing. Grown men call boneless wings nuggets. And
that was my response. If I want chicken nuggets, I'll ask for them. Don't be cutting my tenders up calling it boneless wings, you bastard. I'm an American.
Here's a news flash. We blow your mind, employee. Your boneless wings are made with breast meat. Boom. Blew your mind.
Kaboom. Boom goes the dynamite.
You bitch, you.
Your boneless wings are made with breast meat. Don't sell me this abortion. You didn't skin that off a chicken wing, you lying bastard.
You did not super glue that shit off of a tip.
These are adult nuggets.
Fucker.
Just call them what they are. They're adult nuggets, famo.
And just like that.
That is fucking hilarious.
And just like that, we are back talking about food at 11:45 on a Thursday, October 18th.
This is what happens when you hop on Facebook during the break and you see one of your incredibly hilarious partners say something factual yet
Let me tell you
completely unsolicited.
I have no idea who said that, and I'm going to tell you who my guess is. Dog Wonder.
You are absolutely correct.
There's only one person tweeting about, posting shit on Facebook about food that is that utterly fucking hilarious about the audacity of things that are not true about real food, such as a boneless wing.
And it only took you one guess. Absolutely
Dog
correct.
Wonder.
The keto killer himself. Los.
He turned heel on keto, fam.
Man.
He came to the party with all the pork.
That my partner now. That my partner now, shawty.
Yo, Smackdown 1000.
1,000.
1,000. Wow, shout to Forward Water. Man, it was a hell of a show. The boy Vince.
Debatable.
The boy. I think it was a hell of. I thought it was great. I thought the crowd was hot. The crowd was post WrestleMania hot. They were hot for being in DC.
Agreed. I think people were excited because it was SmackDown 1000. So the opportunity for greatness absolutely was present.
Now, the greatness, I mean, there was some great moments there, but the whole show should have been consistently great, and it was not. But our truth has hit his stride. That man is, if he's not 50, he's pushing, he's really close to 50.
The Roman got people out here believing that man 50 years old.
Man, listen.
Hey, man, he might be 50.
And it's sad that
he might be real life 50.
What people don't realize, history fact, I got little factoids here there. He was the first black NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, that's something you can't take off his resume, but that's Ron Killings.
Which is his Twitter handle while he's in WWE, so he's still Ron Killings.
But what I'm saying to you is Ron Killings is one guy. R-Truth is a completely different entity, and R-Truth is who is on television.
Fam, R-Truth did the ho hop twice.
Ron Killings will be done said some stuff that'll get him arrested.
Ron Killings goes to the ring smoking a cigarette, and it's his real life.
Ron Killings will say some things that'll make people who wear certain type of hats mighty uncomfortable. You see the way I cleaned that up on the fly? Because I could have went there.
Ron Killings could be Abraham Washington on the low.
Ron Killings and New Jack with a live microphone might be the greatest podcast since the Broken Pencil Booking Company.
Ron Killings could be what was New Jack's partner? Was it Mustafa? Mm-hmm. Ron Killings is Mustafa with a voice.
Wow. Ron Killings would have gotten death threats if he was in Smoky Mountain.
Ron Killings got a non-blonde Carmella over. I'm sorry, R-Truth. I stand corrected.
What do you know about Ron Killings, you bastard? But yeah, I mean, he had the kickoff segment. Like, that's a lot of faith on SmackDown 1000 to give him the opening segment.
For something that nobody liked, he got the opening segment, which it became famous for his dance break.
Yeah, like, that's the mindless silliness that is the show. Like, him air quotes, struggling to read, which that kind of... That's a tongue-in-cheek thing that you just gotta get over, but I could do without. I can do without it.
Yeah, we don't need the actual dancing. He's done enough of that out his illustrious career. Even the little Jimmy thing was meant to get him like more heat and ended up turning him, babyface faster than he turned heel.
Because, I don't know whose idea it was, but it worked. Little Jimmy became funny. But if you've spent any time in urban areas, you know what that's similar to.
Yes.
So I don't know who greenlit that. Was that his idea and he just made it TV presentable, or someone gave him that and he just made chicken salad out of chicken shit?
Well, remember he was in a Confederate general's outfit.
That slipped by a bunch of people. It's like he made the segment funny, but then when you go back and look at it, it's like, bruh,
what the fuck were you doing?
What the fuck are you wearing? And you're doing this against Cena, so I'm like, bruh.
And if I'm not mistaken, was that the year that he came off of having a total pay-per-view appearance time of like 5 minutes for the entire year?
I think so. Like that was his first of many comeback tours.
That's probably the last of his many comeback tours there, because he's not coming, like he's not going to ever. I can't say never because anything can change, but
I mean they're not doing split brand pay-per-views anymore, so his days of main eventing pay-per-views, that's probably, unfortunately, it's probably come to an end. Now he may headline a SmackDown, maybe a network televised house show, but yeah, like him getting capital punishment, nah.
Speaking of capital, SmackDown was in DC, the nation's capital.
Kablam. See how I did that? And I wasn't even trying.
Segue. Tell me what you think your favorite segments are.
Tell me what you want.
No, pause.
What?
Those,
That's a good record, bro.
Fuck the record. We talking about SmackDown.
We talking about SmackDown. SmackDown should have been 3 hours.
Okay.
Or you could have given me the 2 hours you had on USA and then give me an additional hour on the network.
Are you chopping wood right now?
Yup. For the first time ever on the Broken Pencil Booking Company, Suave Burgundy chops wood.
On the wood block, swing, 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 and chop, chop, chop.
And not a knife edge chop to my co-host.
Let them know, fam.
Look, I don't want to totally shit on this show, but I'm about to kind of shit on the show a little bit. For as much, and SmackDown's had 1,000 episodes. That from going back from 1999, that is almost 20 years. In 20 years, you couldn't come up with enough content and enough people that were on and a part of that show to actually put more effort into it. I understand you got McMahon back. You got Shane to show up for the first time since what? WrestleMania. Not enough. You got Stephanie McMahon to show up. Not enough. Evolution, great.
No. Evolution, good. Dave Bautista, great. Randy Orton, great.
Those two were phenomenal. Hey, seeing Ric Flair, the Ric Flair joke, phenomenal. Phenomenal. But that show needed to be longer. It's like I don't like it, but I don't like it compared to what I was expecting. Like, it's a good episode of SmackDown. It's not SmackDown 1000, considering SmackDown's been on the air for 20 years. Buy that extra hour, or put the extra hour on the network, and give these people what they need. There were not enough flashback packages. There weren't enough tributes to people who had been there before.
They recycled pictures with the videos that they accompanied Why would you do that?
Not enough history of the brand itself. You didn't have Heyman there. Heyman was a GM. You didn't have Teddy Long. Like, you didn't give them any
Teddy Long, I think
they all had one compartmentalized segment where none of them spoke. You ain't had none of that. Like, none of the stuff that made the show great did you put on. You couldn't get Christian to show up. Edge was there. They rolled together.
I'm sure he's not busy.
I'm positive. Other than them doing their podcast together, they can't be doing too much other than filming the Edge and Christian show. I wanted another hour.
I can't say I wanted another hour.
I did. I can unequivocally say I wanted another hour.
But let's look at it in retrospect. The main event we had was
a dream match.
Was it Shinsuke versus Rey?
Rey Mysterio versus Shinsuke Nakamura, an absolute dream match.
And they didn't even get the last segment. The last segment was 13 words from The Undertaker. And arguably his worst promo ever.
That's that other shit. Like, why did he have to come? His entrance was longer than his promo. His exit. You couldn't have kicked off the show with that?
Like, I don't even know, like, where would you had to have Vince and them on there. Like, where would you even put him on there after something like that? Because, there was no reason for Undertaker to even be on that show.
You slide a commercial breakdown. You put... The Undertaker's entrance and his 13-word promo would have been the first segment. Go to commercial, come back, Truth TV.
Now,
because you got all three McMahons in the ring and all you got is a couple of jab shots. You didn't get any storyline development from that. It's just three people in the ring on a random spot. It didn't mean anything.
And then
nothing.
And then you still have Charlotte and Becky. Becky went in on Edge. Lightweight and out loud.
Well, the champ is doing her thing right now, and you should refer to her as the champ.
And you should get out of her ring
right now. Raise the champ's hand. Help the champ raise her belt.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would have made that segment any better is Charlotte not coming out.
The Miz defeated Rusev to qualify for the World Cup. I didn't even see that part.
The Miz beat Rusev because Aiden English came out and distracted Rusev.
I'm going to call this the King of the Ring. I'm sorry. I'm not calling this WWE World Cup. I'm not calling it that anymore. It's the King of the Ring.
The hilarity of Miz's win is after he won, he slid out the ring and ran around, and Aiden had his arms up. Miz took it upon himself to give him a high five.
The Miz is just going above and beyond, doing things to make his
above and beyond,
his character better.
The Miz called that just a normal Tuesday at the office.
We also got another somewhat of a dream tag team match: the Usos versus Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. And you start to see for the first time, like I always notice, that Daniel Bryan is becoming more annoying, and he's becoming more annoying to AJ Styles, to where you might potentially get a heel turn.
Let's also not mull over the fact that we also have new 5-time tag team champions, something that should have happened a few months ago, The Bar defeating the New Day.
And another, the 27 millionth heel turn of the Big Show.
What? How do you come back after being gone for so long in the best shape of your wrestling career at almost 50, after being manhandled by Braun Strowman on Raw for weeks on end earlier this year, to coming back to doing the same thing that got people not to care about you to begin with, which is turning heel? Like, is it now going to be called turning a Big Show? Like, you're turning a show? I mean, Monsoon got a position out of it. I mean, the heel turn belongs to Show. And what allegiance does he have to Sheamus and or Cesaro?
I feel like we should coin a phrase right now on the show. When you have an unnecessary heel or face turn, it's
a show.
It should be showing. He's showing.
That's a show.
That's it.
That's a show.
Mark it.
Final thoughts on SmackDown 1K.
Should have been 3 hours.
Yep. And with those 3 hours, we could have seen some more people.
The Rock was nowhere near this show in pre-recorded format or no representation of the guy that the show is named after.
Twitter. That was it. It was a tweet that he
That's
posted.
Not enough. That is not. That's not
to
enough. To
me,
bro.
that's nothing.
That's not enough.
You use the most beat social media format to talk about the guy who coined the phrase that named the show that you're celebrating.
He could have did an Instagram video and I'd have felt better. But that's not enough. What you're doing is not enough. You got pre-recorded video comments from John Cena. He couldn't pull up.
Whack. Now,
wiggity whack.
Now, these are people that we actually put on our list. We have our top 20 list of...
It really sounds like I hated that show, and I kind of enjoyed myself, but I expected more. If I had bought a ticket to go to that show, I'd have been pissed off.
Let's be honest. It was so good that even though it was, the typical 2-hour show with commercial breaks, it felt way shorter, and that's what made you want more because it was such a good show for as short as it felt.
Dave Bautista did not disappoint me in one bit. It was the biggest car wreck It was the biggest car wreck since Monday. It was the biggest car wreck since Monday. Rhonda had a mic.
You could thump out every dent on any car.
It was roller derby. It's fucking awesome.
But your car's not hurt afterwards.
Because he built his way up to it. It was like, oh man, he's starting. You can tell, number one, this wasn't scripted. That was the first part. It's like, okay, he's just going.
Anytime you insinuate a swinging deck on TV.
No, before we even got to that part, just the fact of him talking is like, this isn't scripted. So what exactly is about to happen?
And is it me that Triple H looked like a hooker in church when he was on the mic?
He was holding it together as well as possible, but then you could see it. He was like, shut his mic off. He is talking for too long. Then when he got to the part where he was praising Orton, then it was like, all right, cool, I'm with this. Put Randy over because Randy's still on TV. Then let's talk about Flair. But the crowd turned on him when he left Flair hanging because he didn't see Flair trying to get a fist bump. And then that's what led to the swinging meat joke.
Right.
Which was hilarious. Knowing everything as wrestling fans, what we know about Ric Flair and his antics out of the ring, that is hilarious.
Slanging.
And then the walk. Like, he put the walk with it, which was what made it even funnier. Like, he popped Orton and Triple H together on camera.
And Orton was not supposed to pop. Triple H never pops.
Ever. You took the two most serious guys who almost never break character, unless Randy's like pissed and breaks character, and you got them both at the same time.
The irony about that whole segment is the fact that even though that was probably the most... to me, that's probably the biggest SmackDown moment ever, right there, because of the fact that Batista held the mic for so long and actually shut it down.
Is that the longest promo Batista's ever cut?
Easily, hands down. But the crazy part is they've never, as a unit, been on SmackDown.
What?
Is Evolution? Have they ever been a unit on SmackDown as a whole?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think they have. Even when the brand split wasn't happening.
You know what? They haven't.
They've never been on SmackDown. And
Evolution was created after Triple H got the World Heavyweight Championship when Brock went to SmackDown.
On Raw.
On Raw. Evolution has never been on SmackDown.
Until Tuesday.
So, someone please tell me how we got to the point to where Evolution on SmackDown was a thing.
Well, that's neither here nor there. That's going to be a rhetorical question that no one's going to have an answer to.
No one's gonna say it. Or like, who turned them down? Who said they weren't gonna make it? But I'm just saying, like, that is expertise right there.
I'm looking at a list right now that can go with the detail as to who didn't make it.
Fantastic segue.
All right, so we do another one of our famous Broken Pencil mixtapes.
Yup.
This was a little bit different because we know the rockabilly GOAT, The Rock himself, Dwayne Johnson.
We grandfathered him.
So he can't be number one.
The show's named after him.
He can't even be on the list because he coined the term for SmackDown. SmackDown's in Webster's dictionary and Oxford dictionary because of this man. So this mixtape is hosted by The Rock.
There you go.
So on our list, we no particular order. We can just jump around.
That's cool.
And some people got kicked off this list. We feel free. BrokenpencilBC@gmail.com. At BrokenpencilBC on all things social. Feel free to let us know your favorite SmackDown stars of all time. They don't have to be the best. I want your favorite. I want to know like who made your list. It could be onesies or twosies. We about to hit you with a dub. We hitting you with 20 of them.
20 of them, and I'm almost certain we're gonna add to this list because that's just what we do. We give bonus cuts.
We can give honorable mentions.
We out here serving the community. Go ahead, hit them with something.
Let me go with somebody you're not expecting.
Go ahead.
Some in the middle of it, like this will be a good kickoff for the mixtape.
Okay.
Michelle McCool, Layla L, Team Lay Cool.
Good choice. Female representation right off the bat.
Off the bat.
Off the business.
And that's about where it ends.
We got one more. I just saw it.
Yeah. I said about. There's two different lanes.
I'm gonna take it another route.
Go ahead.
Eduardo Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero.
Latino Heat.
He is on the list of top 20 SmackDown talents of all time. A member of the SmackDown 6.
The car game. The lying,
Fuego.
cheating, and stealing.
Fuego.
The man. Dominic, I am your father.
Did he actually create the best gimmick off of an offensive stereotype of all time?
Which one? The lowrider or the lying, cheating, and stealing?
Both. Like as a combination. Just the whole Latino Heat character. Because everything about it, if you dissect it separately.
Orderly vato is not something that you're supposed to say on family-friendly TV. And he was saying it on a weekly basis multiple times per promo.
Yes. Riding in lowrider, saying orderly vato, lying, cheating, and stealing. And
doing damn good jobs of all of it.
And was over at it.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Eddie.
Man, greatness.
Well, we got Eddie. Let's throw Ray in the mix. Ray had a hell of a return.
Ray Mysterio out here looking like it's 1998.
If there were nominees for Mr. SmackDown, Ray better be on that list.
Ray gotta be on the ballot. Gotta be.
Who else? Give me somebody else.
Let me bring it present day. The team that is just not getting enough respect, in my opinion, and not getting enough of a run as a dominant tag team.
Usos?
Jimmy and Jay.
Man, listen.
The level of disrespect is too much for me.
And we've seen probably 3 different versions of the Usos on SmackDown.
This last version is the best, and that's the one you need to run with. Stop wasting talent.
And this version ain't going away anytime soon.
I want them to turn heel again, and then I want them to be more ruthless.
The Samoan Dynasty Start up the Samoan dynasty as a faction.
They are never going to give us the Samoan dynasty. We might as well hang that up. Well, they're never going to give us that. Ever.
We saw this man in the ring, but not in a action capacity.
Who that though?
Another nominee for Mr. Smackdown, Edge.
Yep.
You think you know me?
Yep. Good job. As I'm updating the list of who's been mentioned and who has not. People are kind of sour on him now, but during his run on SmackDown, absolute phenomenal talent. Brock Lesnar.
He's gold money. Gold money. Anytime he was on TV, especially back in the early 2000s, around circa 2002, 2003, he could not be missed. Let's take it to someone who's also less savory in the eyes of the WWE public and mass.
Who that is?
The chick magnet, Mr. Straight Edge Society himself, CM Punk.
The Straight Edge Society was among the greatest underdeveloped angles on SmackDown or in WWE period. And when I say underdeveloped, not because the talent involved didn't do what they were supposed to do with it, but because it didn't go longer.
And we had Luke Gallows.
Yup. AKA Festus.
We had Serena.
Yes.
And Joseph Mercury.
Yes.
And
Joey Merc.
You turned everybody into straight-laced heathens for your affection.
Former users and abusers turned into an army of soldiers.
And nobody liked you.
It is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. I feel like you could have redone that gimmick several times. You could have put that faction together as many times as you wanted to with different people. The premise of it is just so TV evangelist that you just like, because
I love you.
At any point you can offend whatever group of people you want to by reuniting the Straight Edge Society, and you can attack whatever you want to, and
not even telling a lie. It's playing straightforward facts.
Just say it exactly how it comes out, because I mean, hey, people get offended.
What else we got? Who else?
King Booker.
There's never a good time to throw in Booker on the list, but there's always a great time to see Booker on the list. I'm
just saying, man, King Booker was great television.
King Booker, Queen Sharmell,
and the King's Court,
the Pinky,
man,
the Cloak.
If Busta Rhymes had ever become a professional wrestler, King Booker is really close to what you would get. Dead ass.
And we're talking about just King Booker. We haven't even gone back to the what was it, the short dread WCW transplant grocery store fighting Steve Austin Booker T.
I cashed out my WCW contract because I'm finna go get this WWE money. I cut the contract short so I could go get the money with Vince. That Booker T. He knew. I ain't finna sit at the crib. We ain't finna ride this out.
The only thing that would have made Booker T better on SmackDown was having Stevie Ray on commentary. Just once.
No way in hell would you ever get Stevie Ray on some WWE commentary.
Suckers got to know.
They got to know.
Suckers needs to know.
That was some of the highlight of the final days of WCW, just having Stevie Ray with a live microphone. Him and Mark Madden were hilarious.
Mark Madden was too much, man.
It was like Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, man. I got
who you got?
I got Christian, man.
Christian.
So we could have put Edge and Christian together.
I can't hit all the notes. I would embarrass myself.
Wasn't the words "Now you're all alone"?
I don't know the words.
I think it was Christian. Now you're all alone. We'll see. I don't know.
Is it,
baby?
Now you're on your own,
or something to that effect.
We should look up the lyrics. But yeah, I have no idea what that song ever said.
We will find out for sure.
Cool beans.
Now, This man, after Edge, as a tag team, first of all, they definitely on there. But after Edge had to retire, Christian's whole gimmick was just one more match. Standout points was when he won the Money in the Bank. And then, was it he won Money in the Bank?
I know. You might want to Google that one.
Okay, wait.
I don't think he did. I think he won at Money in the Bank.
Standout point was when he won the championship.
Yes, like him being world heavyweight champion was like you didn't expect it, but once you got it, you were like, yes, this is everything I want.
But one of my favorite moments didn't come on SmackDown, but it came in the pay-per-view. No disqualification match against. Oh, sorry, it was a straight match against Randy Orton for the belt. And if Randy Orton got disqualified, Christian became the champion. And this man from the depths of hell hawked up a loogie and threw it. Just hot took spit into Randy Orton's face, and Randy Orton went ape shit and pushed the referee. The referee disqualified him. Christian becomes champion.
Unadulterated brilliance.
Like, you cannot be serious.
Fantastic booking. I'm just saying, if you're gonna book a title change like that, that is absolutely a smart way to do it.
It was a chicken shit way to go out, and it worked to perfection.
And the crowd absolutely popped for it.
Captain Charisma. I'm gonna go MVP. Montel Vontavious Porter. Mr. 305.
If you will. Better than you. MVP.
You know what's crazy? He's on the list, and one of the things he was most popular for being on this list was his futility. He had a losing streak for a long, long time.
I remember him a lot for his Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better series with Matt Hardy.
Yes.
Like they actually had a pizza eating contest in Chicago. Like, I don't know who's gonna try to eat Chicago deep dish in a speed eating competition, but they did it.
Especially if you're like, quote unquote, in shape and decide that you want to eat all that cheese.
That's not what you do.
That is not what you do.
These are the games we play.
It's never what you do.
Hey, nah, that don't even seem like nothing. That's not safe.
Take it back to some tag teams.
Come on with it.
I mean, we're present day.
Cause we got 11 left on our list, and so these honorable mentions is finna get real in a minute. We got 11 left on the actual list.
Well, let's hammer through these real quick. Present day,
hit it.
Responsible for being one half of the first tag team Hell in a Cell after a phenomenal series of back and forth title changes. We have the New Day.
It's a new day.
How can you front on them? How can you front on them?
It's too late for you to be fronting on them. You just going to have to accept the fact that they're there and they're very good at what they do. And until, either they get ready to turn heel, I would rather see them turn heel than break up. But for right now, they sell merchandise. They good. Leave them alone.
Keep it going. What you got?
Batista. That needs to be sampled.
Man.
With that 808. Boy, I say. But yeah. Batista's with the work.
And there's a nice little segment on WWE TV about Vince McMahon sliding to the ring or running to the ring, blowing both quads, sliding to the ring because of a fucked up finish between Cena and Batista.
What's that, Royal Rumble 2006?
No, I think it was 04.
Was it 04?
I think it was 04.
Yeah, when he tried to slide in the ring. Yeah, they had the Bret Hart Lex Luger finish again from '94.
But it was totally on accident.
But this time it wasn't planned. It wasn't scripted. Like, they actually screwed up, and Cena looked like he had hurt himself during the spot. Vince runs out, tries to jump in the ring and try to fix some stuff, blows out both quads. Like,
it tries to stand up.
Can't stand. He is on his ass, fam. Like, yeah, go back and watch that on the network. That's something watch-worthy.
Fresh off the heels of firing his best friend, he reinvents himself to be an oil tycoon.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun. Yeah.
Straight up.
JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, with a satin jacket and a towel a la Arn Anderson in '86.
Shout out to the Basham brothers. Shout out to Orlando Jordan. We around here putting it together with the Longhorns on the front of the limousine. Yeah.
Man, so yeah, that's he at the time he had the longest title reign in modern day SmackDown or modern day history, and for the point it was on SmackDown, and I never even saw him winning that belt at all, let alone a few times. He carried that show for about 3 years.
True that. Vicky Guerrero.
Listen,
Excuse me.
Boo.
I said excuse me.
Man, Vicky
Heat magnet.
up until
Refer to her as heat magnet.
up until we saw what's your boy Elias in Seattle. We had never seen heat on anyone like we saw Vicky Guerrero in Austin, where she was booed so loud on Raw that John Cena had to quote her promo for the crowd just so they were able to know what she was trying to get out.
Roman might have been the closest.
Post WrestleMania, okay,
It's my yard now.
But still, it was. I mean, it was even at home. It was deafening. But that was on Raw. But that alone, you can get that much heat. That shows you the greatness that you have anywhere you go.
Oh, she is absolutely a talent.
Married Edge, divorced Edge, had a play date with Dolph Ziggler.
Had Edge jumped by the Undertaker and then tried to send him to hell.
And didn't she play Big Show?
Probably.
I think she played Big Show tough too.
She went head up with Stephanie McMahon in a mud wrestling type situation.
And it's hard to believe after saying all this. It's hard to believe that this is the wife of Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero.
And here's the crazy part. Before his passing, she had nothing to do with the business other than being the wife of a performer.
And letting Dominic take place in a child custody angle.
Dominic! I'm your father, Dominic! Like, that's crazy that she ended up being that big of a talent. Like, she had that much of a contribution. Like, that's dope.
Man, next up,
You know I
got Y2J, Chris Jericho. Break the wall down!
Chris Jericho just belongs on any list that can be made.
Which, I'll go into more detail on Y2J shortly. I'm not going to even spoil that one.
Right. The Undertaker.
How can you miss The Undertaker?
You can't, because he spent a lot of time on SmackDown carrying that brand.
The American Badass was born on SmackDown.
Then, the first time you ever saw the Hell's Gate submission finisher.
Smackdown. It was probably right after that when he started putting on the MMA fighter gloves, like he was like a legit striker.
Yeah, with the it wasn't a singlet, but it looked like a singlet with the double straps when he got like really lean and started striking all the time, like he's just throwing hands. He would do nothing else but throw hands and sometimes kick.
Is there anybody else that we were missing on that list?
There are a couple of omissions that we're getting to in a second, but we still have 4 left on the actual list.
Well, I'm taking Jeff Hardy. So Jeff is the same person he was the first time around, and even before he left, But his face game, as far as the face paint game.
He's gotten really good at that.
Really good. Like he's taking things to the next level and create optical illusions on his face. Even shouts out to his opponents on his face.
That sounds like a mixtape. Best painted face superstars of all time.
That could be a mixtape.
I feel like that's a mixtape we should do.
Yeah, that might be the next episode.
That might be episode 13.
Yeah, Unlucky 13. But yeah, Jeff Hardy
should be close to Halloween too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aha.
Yeah, so I got Jeff Hardy on that one.
I hear voices in my head. They talk to me and they understand.
They
talk to me. I got Randy Orton.
That's my son's. That's Danger 2 right there. That's his favorite character.
Danger Deuce.
That's his favorite one right there. Like you can't. I don't care what Randy Orton's doing unless he gets suspended for drugs. He is not. You will not catch a boo from my son on Randy Orton.
That's fantastic. Stick to your guns, fam. We got 2 more.
Peanut Head.
Holla, holla, holla.
Theodore R. Long.
Just for that player, you're booked against The Undertaker. Like, bruh, are you going to punish everybody?
Hold on, player. We got a whole lot of action going on right now.
In a 6-man tag team match.
This is so out of control. I'm booking you in a tag team match.
Like, bruh, like this cannot be the formula every week.
Every week for years.
Years. Like so many episodes. Teddy Long.
I'm booking this a tag team match.
Teddy Long is making a tag team match or a 6-man tag team match, or he is putting you against The Undertaker. So you bet not skip him in catering because he gonna be on your entire ass.
Man. And
we got the last one. The guy who started on SmackDown, went to Raw, seemed like he was never coming back to SmackDown, came back to SmackDown and left. John Cena.
But he made his mark.
Oh, he absolutely.
He's also a nominee for Mr. SmackDown.
Absolutely. From the Ruthless Aggression debut to the Doctor of Thugonomics.
The spinning belt.
The spinning United States Championship belt.
Like that, I think that's when I started to pop for him. Where I was like, "You put a spinner on the belt?"
to beating JBL, then going to Raw, seeming like he was never gonna come back.
The U.S. Open Challenge shit that he was doing on SmackDown.
Yes. He did a U.S. Open Challenge on both brands.
Both brands.
His great matches with AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, man.
On Raw and SmackDown. His match with Shinsuke Nakamura where he almost got his neck broken. Which that's not anything to laugh about, but because he survived, it's something to laugh at.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a lot of great moments on both brands.
Man. So who didn't make the list?
Kurt Angle. First and foremost.
Well, if we talked about this before the show.
If we're gonna say Kurt Angle, we gotta say Team Angle because the world's greatest tag team belongs on this list.
Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, Kurt Angle together as a unit. They ran the tag team division on SmackDown for about 2 years.
Los Guerreros belongs on this list.
Together, Chavo and Eddie
as a tag team.
And I'm not talking Kerwin White.
As a tag team that absolutely belong on this list.
As a unit,
I'm
with you. SmackDown 6. In fact, I would dare say the SmackDown 6 need to have a collection on the WWE Network.
They should, but because of one person, it's not gonna happen. And that person probably should be on the list, but we just didn't name him.
I'm gonna tell you somebody else who should be on this list.
Who that?
The only man to have a valet as a ring announcer on SmackDown.
Oh, no, he's not. He's not going to be on any
Alberto
list.
Del Rio.
He won't be on
also
any list.
A candidate for Mr. SmackDown.
Could be.
Or nominee.
Could be.
But we will probably never see him again at WWE TV.
Never. That's a wrap, fam. Have you been, I know you haven't been watching Total Divas, like the subtle shots they be throwing at him.
No.
I mean, it'd be some really subtle shots that they be throwing, especially on this last episode, because they've been dealing with Paige and her retirement a lot. It's a lot of stuff being said. It's like you can't come back from that.
Levels, huh?
Just levels, because the shade is real. Oh, it is so much cooler in the shade.
Man, who else are we missing?
See,
Billy Gunn.
Yeah, Chuck and Billy.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're gonna do a tag team, Chuck and Billy would be on there, and Billy Gunn definitely by himself needs to be on there.
Eric Bischoff.
Definitely Eric Bischoff.
He's part of the biggest angle that Chuck and Billy had on SmackDown. Rico, shout out to Rico.
The Hurricane.
Shout out to Hurricane.
Rest in peace to Rosie.
Former GM Paul Heyman.
Former GM.
The greatest era of SmackDown, in my personal opinion, happened under his watch.
And what's crazy is I remember none of that because I had a very bad sickness at the time, and I remember none of that era.
That's why I'm going to leave this article up for you to go through whenever you get.
Don't worry. I will go through that with a fine tooth comb, and I will go through the network and dig. It's an article on Bleacher Report that says how the Blue Brand elevated Eddie Guerrero, Edge, and a Nameless Wonder. And it doesn't say Nameless Wonder, but
it doesn't. But I mean, we've made.
And truth be told, that I mean, all nonsense aside, he should be on this list, even though he will never be. He deserves.
Yeah, he absolutely
for his in-ring
contributions, he deserves to be on this list. But because of other extenuating circumstances, he will remain unnamed. Who else? On the fly from SmackDown deserves to be on this list.
I mean, we
shout out to Road Dogg and X-Pac.
Man,
they were on the first show.
Yeah, true, very true. The Miz deserves to be on this list.
Absolutely.
Talk the shit he's done for talking smack. We had with Zach Gowen back in the day.
Zach Gowen, there's a name.
Man, I mean, we can throw, if you want to, we can throw Daniel Bryan on this list. Only because of talking smack, but I think Miz pretty much ran his way into this list as nothing else an honorable mention, just because of his performance on Talking Smack.
I'm tripping. Matt Hardy, version 1.
Version 1.
Version 1, fam.
Was this 06 Matt Hardy post?
Oh yeah. Matt Hardy version 1 was some of the funniest, absolutely most groundbreaking television, because again, as we've said previously on previous episodes, Matt Hardy's connection to the internet has kept him relevant. He was at the forefront of bringing references and things about the internet to television.
Something that happened to him in real life that got catapulted via the internet is what got him back to WWE after being let go.
And this was actually before. Was it before that?
No,
it was after. It was after he lost the Loser Leaves Raw match.
Yep.
And then he reinvented himself on SmackDown. Who else we got?
Man, I'm cool. I'm cool with that one.
I know we're missing like a huge star.
I mean, that's where the pencil pushers come in. BrokenpencilBC on everything. BrokenpencilBC@gmail.com. I mean, you got to hit us up and let us know.
That is true.
Who we missing? Shout out to my guy Jazz Mac, formerly of People Under the Stairs. He's a pencil pusher, and he's adamant about the things that we miss. He will let us know quickly.
Right. People have been known to yell at us through the speakers, and I appreciate.
We hear you. We hear you.
I don't, but I appreciate you. I read your comments after, but I don't hear you when you're screaming at me.
Shouts out to Spoil the Ending as well. What up, Chan?
What up, though?
What else we got? The greatness that is Y2J. When we come back, Broken Pencil Booking Company @gmail.com, @BrokenpencilBC on everything.
You are listening to the Broken Pencil Booking Company.
Plain and simple. Just
I was gonna say something else, but that was
it's like whatever. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that pretty much says it all. We know we want hot chips. I mean,
I need some bottles.
I'm gonna be specific. I want some Zaps, Voodoo Heat. I'm gonna be specific about my hot chips, cause you gonna bring me back that $2 bag of Chester's fries. They cool, but I don't want them all the time.
Man, all right. So we are back at the Broken Pencil Booking Company. I am Wood.
You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
I don't know what the hell that was.
That was an unnecessary pause because I really wasn't paying attention.
So we were talking about candidates for Mr. Smackdown, and this was going to be my episode of Chopping Wood for this week, just because the last Chopping Wood was so bad.
Was it? I don't feel like it was bad.
I mean, it was very negative.
Oh, okay.
Factual, but very negative.
I get what you're saying.
I was gonna do something positive, but you got the Chopping Wood this week, which is cool.
I want to chop blades.
We gonna talk about my man Y2J Chris Jericho. Now, the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because TNA, well, Impact, just had a pay-per-view last week. They're Bound for Glory, which was like the equivalent of WWE WrestleMania. Now, we were thinking that Chris Jericho would possibly show up there because there's a cruise that he has coming up called the Jericho Rockin' Rager at Sea, which is, I want to say, the week of Halloween is when the cruise is. Now, the focus of this cruise, even though it's been announced for like a year and a half, the focus of this cruise now is to have ROH versus Impact. And the winner of, I guess, they were supposed to have like a tournament where like the whomever wins like this particular tournament, they would get an ROH title shot in the future or something to that effect, like, or be named number one contender. I don't know how the Impact and ROH thing would get tied in, but that would be one reason why I would think that he would show up sometime in the very near future on Impact TV. That being said, yeah, I see that
might be fire though.
Yeah, I agree. That's so far out of my league when it comes to. We always looking at a fucking advertisement for some shit. But anyway, food.
That shit might be fire though.
Back in effect though.
Yeah.
The reason why I brought this up is because if and of course if ifs were butts and candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
If was a spliff, we'd all be fucked up.
Can't do both, bro. You gotta pick one.
Yeah, you gotta have a struggle. You gotta have a struggle. Pick one.
You gotta pick a struggle. You can't do both.
If Chris Jericho would show up in Impact, which I still think he has a possibility of showing up in Impact, he would be one of only 2 people to be in WCW.
This was a cool stat from the group text.
The original ECW, WWE, and Impact. And
say that again. Put some gravity on there. Say it again.
All right. If and when he shows up in Impact, he'll be the only person.
Which I
only one of 2 people rather.
2 people
that have wrestled in WCW.
Right.
The original WCW. The original ECW.
Right.
WWE.
Right.
And Impact.
Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Also add ROH. Because naturally, if you're doing an indie show and it's ROH versus Impact, then, and mind you, he's in New Japan.
Yeah, we got remember
U.S. champion.
Do we add Japan to that too? Because the actual person has been in Japan too.
We did. So let me backtrack on that.
Yeah, put the gravity
WCW
on it. 1.
ECW
2.
WWE
3.
New Japan
4.
ROH
5.
and Impact
6.
There's only one other person that has hit every one of those territories in their career.
It's like getting passport stamps, man. We got to hit the 7 continents of wrestling greatness.
Most people you would think of that would come off the top of your head have not hit ECW. I get that.
Right.
The only other person that has done that.
I forgot who my guess was because I guessed somebody.
With the exception of ECW. So is ECW the exception is ECW on this one.
I know who my guess was.
Who was your guess?
My guess, when we had the conversation, my guess was Eddie Guerrero.
Your guess was Eddie Guerrero, but Eddie Guerrero was in ECW having classic matches.
And what it was, Eddie never made it to Impact.
He never made it to Impact. That's correct.
But yeah.
But this guy made it to Impact, even if he never made it to ECW. But Chris Jericho was taking ECW out the equation. That person is the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Nature Boy got some stamps, bro.
He was in ROH for literally a cup of coffee. He's wrestled New Japan. Of course, you know him from WCW and WWE. And he had a stint in Impact.
Rey Mysterio would have been the next closest. Like, Rey probably could have pulled that off if he ever went to Impact.
Yeah, and Rey had a chance to actually do that just as a couple of one-offs just for the for the tie-in with Lucha Underground.
Then the list actually would get even shorter if we added Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who would Conan, Vampiro, but they never went to WWE. I don't think Conan was in WWE.
Max Moon.
Yeah, damn, he sure was.
Yep. No, there's a plug for the network as if we don't do it enough. There's a hidden match. There's like a tryout match of Conan wrestling that just got added to the hidden gem section on the network, where Conan has like, I'm trying to think who had hair like this. He has hair. He has black hair down his back.
black hair down his back.
I mean, and it's like
Drew McIntyre?
More hair than that. It's so much hair that it looks like a wig.
Only other person I thought that had that much hair, but he was tall, was Al Snow.
Nah, I think like Diesel 1996.
Wow.
Like he's got a ridiculous amount of black hair to where it looks like a rug.
Insane.
Yeah, but he had a tryout match that's on the network. So he's probably hit. He might be the other person, Conan, because I'm sure he's been to Japan.
So was he in ECW?
Yep.
Okay, so he might be in the same company as Jericho then.
Conan probably has all the same stamps as Jericho.
He's been in Impact.
Maybe he hadn't been to Ring of Honor.
I think that might be the switcher right there. Is Ring of Honor. Yeah. Look at us over here thinking shit.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, we put these stats together because we pay attention.
So the whole reason we're bringing up Chris Jericho is because with him being the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Intercontinental. But what
the other thing we brought up in the in the group text thread. So why is it that always the Intercontinental Champion
is better when they're foreigners?
Yeah.
So
the U.S. champ and the Intercontinental champ are always always a foreigner.
So the U.S. champ, naturally, anybody from Japan is not going to hold the Intercontinental or the U.S. belt ever.
Or maybe it's the opposite. They give an American the Intercontinental Championship and give a foreigner the U.S. title.
I mean, technically, anybody that goes to Japan, if you're not from Japan, you're a foreigner.
You're a gaijin.
Straight up.
They have a name for you. Gaijin.
Yeah, you ain't one of us, but you wrestle with us.
I love the fact that they label people like that. And I know we live in a time where that's not really cool, but
it's not derogatory. It's just puts you on notice.
We're gonna put you. It's not negative, but we're gonna put you in this box. This box you belong in this box. It may not be a negative thing, but this is where you go. Gaijin.
So
Gaijin.
Let's run down the criteria that could lead to Jericho having GOAT status. First and foremost,
it's gonna be a long list here because this guy.
I'm gonna make it real quick. The number one thing that comes to mind.
What's up?
So this will be you'll be shocked to know about this being number one because number two is the fact that he was the first unified champion in WWE. Number one in my book was while he was trying to figure out Dean Malenko's 1,001 holds, he comes up with a list of 1,004 holds.
That is on a short list for the greatest moment in Monday Nitro history.
And I was watching, I don't know if it was a Jericho documentary or something I was watching where he said that he had to heal the crowd for 3 minutes during a commercial break so they can come back, and when they counted him back on live, he had to pick up where he left off at.
Like, it seems like WCW was just training him to be the greatness that he was in WWE.
Number one, arm bar.
The Saskatchewan spinning toe hold. Arm bar.
Arm bar.
The shooting star press.
What was it? The
arm drag.
What was that credenza that he said?
The three-legged family credenza. Like, bro, that is one of the greatest segments in Nitro history. Like, that's on a short list of greatest moments ever.
He's also the recipient of one of The Rock's greatest interactions ever. The Who Are You, when he came out as Y2J after the countdown ended, was at the top of the second hour of Raw.
Absolutely true. Does he hold the title for greatest debut in Raw history?
I can't, off the top of my head, I can't name anybody else that would even remotely come close to that.
I mean, his debut was like nuts.
Like, Santino Marella came out the crowd, but you anticipated Chris Jericho because you knew it was him. Because
you had the countdown going on forever. So that's what made it like, yeah, this is fire. They built that for so long.
This man's first WWE long-term feud against China. You're going against a woman in main event capacity.
He made it work.
For the, what was it? They were going for the IC belt because China was the IC champion?
Yep. This is true. This happened.
Oh. He back in the day spent time in Smoky Mountain too, because he was tagging with Landstorm, who he trained with at the Stu Hart Dungeon. Mm-hmm. Team with Christian briefly.
The Lionheart stuff in ECW is some stuff to go back and watch.
The whole angle with like the highlight reel.
Yes.
You know, that's when he put Shawn Michaels through the Geratron 6000.
He has one of the most imitated finishing maneuvers in apartment buildings around the country. You realize when people saw the Walls of Jericho, how many people got unwillingly put into the Walls of Jericho while play wrestling? And the knee on the back of the neck type.
But man, let me tell you.
Yeah, there's the Walls of Jericho and then there's the Lion Tamer.
If you ever catch the Lion Tamer, you did something wrong to this man.
Bruh, the Lion Tamer, yeah, that's like, y'all got beef.
That's one of the even though it's very similar to the Walls of Jericho.
He put Gato in the Walls of Jericho at Halloween Havoc 97. I thought he was going to break him.
Listen, if you get put in the Walls of Jericho is up there in one of the top submission finishers.
Fam, if he take that knee on you, you need to apologize because you've wronged this man in some way.
This man 3 years ago, he ate 69 tacks in his back.
Dean Ambrose,
Ambrose
Asylum,
69 tacks in his back,
unnecessarily too. Like, why are we doing this?
In his mid 40s.
Matter of fact, is this match right here. Like, why are we doing this? Why?
And this man is still in phenomenal shape. Touring with a #1 rock band, a multi-platinum rock band.
Can I tell you one thing about
Please.
Jericho? I have never listened to a Fozzy song in my life.
I have on accident. I've never done it on purpose.
He said on accident.
And
I've never heard a Fozzy song.
And I'm sure he's got good music.
I'm glad he's able to pursue his interest, but I've never followed him for his interest outside of wrestling. He's just, you know what? I'm gonna diversify my portfolio and listen to some Fozzy. But
there is if you go to WWE Network, you search Moon Goose McQueen, and you will see Chris Jericho in full character garb on Sunday Night Heat. Moon Goose McQueen.
Oh man, Moon Goose.
And then now he's New Japan feuding with Kenny Omega. Like, this man is almost 50 years old.
He is just jumping people every chance he gets.
And one of the poster boys for DDPY. No longer DDP Yoga.
Yeah, it's DDPY now. So
yeah. So all those things considered, his accolades, he's what a 6-time world champion of WWE. He's like a 9-time Intercontinental champion. And the fact that he's been in so many territories,
guy needs a stat sheet,
and he's definitely going to be adding these 2 more to his resume. I submit to you one of the Billy Goats, Chris Jericho.
Fantastic. Round of applause, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, no, stop. You're too kind. Stop. You're too kind. Thank you.
Y2J Goat Talk.
You.
I feel like we could turn that into a segment. Like, if we just pick random guys.
Goat Talk?
Yeah, Goat Talk. Start making the case for people to be the GOAT.
We gotta keep it going.
I like it. Let's put a pin in that. Got 2 things left. One we're gonna really like, one not so much. So check it out. Coming soon from WWE on the WWE Network, October 28th, the first ever all-women's pay-per-view, WWE Evolution. Now, some of you listening may feel like we're being harsh in our criticism. Has nothing to do with the talent. The talent on this show is superb. The way this show looks to have been shelved in a way, immensely disappointing. So the card goes as follows. For the Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey defending against Nikki Bella.
Nikki does not win. We do not have no twin magic going on here.
Ronda's going to break somebody's arm. I hope.
Probably Breeze.
Fine, so be it. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the champ, Becky Lynch, defending against Charlotte Flair in a last woman standing match.
I got a feeling
That's going to be good.
I got a feeling this is going to be a hot potato match and a hot potato
I don't want
title.
to see no hot potato for that. I want to see Becky retain and go on a long, relenting run.
I do too, but I got a feeling they're going to pass that ball to Charlotte for probably through the winter.
I need somebody to interfere, so give Charlotte a new foe, and then I need Becky to continue her run. I want Becky defending the title at WrestleMania, or at least up until the Royal Rumble.
Match number 3 on this list looks very interesting here.
What that is, Shada?
I'm seeing Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. Is that number 3 for them?
Yes, that's the rematch. So it's not gonna be at a takeover. It's gonna be Evolution.
This is gonna be good.
That's the sleeper. I think that might be the sleeper from what we have booked in front of us so far.
I got a feeling we might get 25 minutes out this match.
You're gonna have to with the way this card is being booked so far. Now we also have 2 singles matches that have been condensed into a tag team match: Trish Stratus and Lita versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Those were originally 2 singles matches with Stratus facing Bliss and James facing Lita. They have condensed those for injury purposes. They have also condensed those to avoid further injury to anyone.
Poor Mickie, because she's about to catch all this work.
I mean, when you're the veteran and you still got that work, I mean, this is what's to be expected.
Yeah, she's about to catch all that work.
Who's the workhorse on the other team, though?
I'm definitely going to say Trish, because Lita still, I mean, every time I see her hop into the ring, I see that neck shot. I
don't want Lita doing any more moonsaults wearing Vans. Bruh, I was absolutely terrified to see her about to. It's like, bro, she about to do it.
I swear,
a moonsault, slip on Vans.
I thought those
DVR
Vans,
DVR it.
I thought those Vans would cause her to slip her feet straight up in the air without bending any knees.
Fam, I just don't want any incidents. I want this to go off without a hitch.
So we got
and here's the thing. Here's because we've named all the real matches, and here's the thing that let the air out of the balloon for us as far as the potential of this pay-per-view and all the people that have been lumped into this one match, and even the reaction from these women online. A historic women's battle royal match for a future women's championship opportunity. So you basically are redoing the Royal Rumble for Evolution. You couldn't. Okay, I'm about to chop some more wood.
Before you do that, let me run down the names.
Go ahead. Run the names down. Run them down.
Alicia Fox, Asuka, Billie Kay, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Ember Moon, Lana, Mandy Rose, Naomi, Nia Jax, Peyton Royce, Sonya Deville, Tamina, Tori Wilson. Go.
Okay, so check it out. I'm gonna fantasy book. You've put a level of laziness into the preparation for this pay-per-view, because you had all these potential dream matches. You had all this. You had an opportunity to create something that had never been seen. Now, obviously, I think you're gonna have the finals of the Mae Young Classic.
Yep, that's
I have not watched not one episode.
Neither have I. Neither have I.
I need to catch up before Evolution, but I feel like, especially with the fact that you have the men's King of the Ring, which we're not going to refer to it as the World Cup. It's the men's King of the Ring at Crown Jewel.
Facts.
You had an opportunity to brand something that would have been absolutely dope. Why is it this is why I should have been brought up for the interview.
And you don't know whether or not you want to give the name, do you?
Now I'm gonna give it because it's ours. Anybody else runs off with it, we're gonna open fire.
Head on platter.
This was the opportunity for WWE to make the very first Queen of the Ring tournament. 8 women, 1 night tournament. Winner gets a championship match of their choosing. They could have jumped brands, because what you're doing now, you just had the Royal Rumble. You just had this. So you're going to do another one 8 months later.
I can't say I'm mad at that decision for you to say that's what should happen. I love the idea and the concept of a Queen of the Ring. It writes itself.
I'm just saying, you can get all the dream matches you want to get. You can have odd matchups. You can build a star in one night.
And let's face it, no matter who it is in the back that doesn't like tournaments, you've got one strong one going on right now with qualifiers that's going to end up on a pay-per-view that's not going to matter.
Fam, you have a whole the bulk of your network content, original content over the last 2 years has been tournament based. The UK tournament twice, Mae Young Classic twice, the Cruiserweight Classic. What's the problem?
Lack of direction.
Now you're doing the G2, aka the King of the Ring.
King of the Ring.
I'm saying, and I went as far to say I picked the 8: Naomi, Asuka, Carmella, Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Sasha, Bayley. 8th spot, you could give it to whoever.
Now you can do a fatal 4, 5, or 6 way for that final spot.
You could bring somebody up from NXT.
That's very true too.
Like, who wouldn't want to see? Don't let me forget her name. Is gonna blow the segment. Bianca
Belair.
Bianca Belair as the 8th entry.
Undefeated.
And then you give her that spot for being undefeated in NXT.
Undefeated.
But you don't announce her being in the tournament until she shows up.
Undefeated.
I feel like you could have gotten a lot more. Do you realize how high the buzz would be right now for this pay-per-view if you had announced the Queen of the Ring?
It would be at the fever pitch. And it's not to say there's still...
Like, wouldn't you be geeked up? Like, we might have had a watch party for that.
I mean, truth be told, stranger things can happen. This is
lazy.
It could still go that way. I honestly don't think that it will, though, for the simple fact that we're still in the middle of a tournament technically right now on TV.
Depending on how fast we get this episode out, they might hear it and change it.
Well,
if they do that, then I'm gonna find some legal representation for us because we're gonna get our slice.
Cause we rich bitch.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, you could have done anything other than a battle royal. That's cheap and lazy. That's like last minute nonsense. Oh, we ain't got nothing to do with them. Put them in a battle royal. You could have done a tag team title tournament. Anything other than this. Anything.
Well, we got another week and a half before we figure out what's going to happen there.
You could have done a gauntlet match.
Oh no.
No, for real. You could have done a women's gauntlet match, and then because you're giving the winner a future title match. It's probably not going to be a Survivor Series,
right?
What's the December pay-per-view's name?
I don't even know.
Like, is it still Armageddon or is it something else?
How could we forget? It's TLC.
Oh, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you might get it at TLC. Otherwise, it's a Royal Rumble title shot, depending on who it is. I just I feel like the women deserve better.
That pretty much sums it up. Because, like, Asuka, they're throwing her career away.
Wasting it.
I mean, they're treating her worse than Nakamura, in my opinion. And Nakamura has a belt, at least.
Man.
Then we also have Ember Moon, who can't figure out whether she wants to win a fight or be part of a fight.
I don't know what.
And it's not her fault.
Don't call her up if you don't have anything for her. No, stop doing that. Stop.
Yeah, you're truly ruining good talent.
Like, stop doing that. Stop calling up talent just because you want someone new on TV. Like, call them up when you have something for them to do, please.
Big facts. Let's keep this moving. We got one more segment to go.
One last segment to go, buddy.
The greatest betrayals in wrestling history. This is all piggybacking off of the WWE's best, I guess, what best heel turns.
They said their list of biggest betrayals. They put out on their Instagram account. There was a meme depicting the 5 biggest betrayals in Instagram history. Well, not in Instagram history, but in WWE history.
Okay.
So, if I can actually pull that up real quick. And here we go. So their top 5 list goes as follows. Number 5, the Bella Twins ambush Ronda Rousey. Obviously, this list was made to piggyback the fact that the Bella Twins had just turned heel because no one cares.
We don't care.
Number 4, Kevin Owens ruins Chris Jericho's Festival of Friendship.
There's that Y2J name again.
Yeah, and it's an honorable mention in terms of WWE betrayals. Their number 3 would have been my number 1. Shawn Michaels throws Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window.
Oof.
It doesn't get much better than that.
No, only thing we saw remotely close to that was also in Piper's Pit. You're bleeding. That's the only thing we saw remotely close to that.
Right.
And I mean, and maybe the coconut, which was so racist.
Andre snatching off the necklace. That was
yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're bleeding.
You're bleeding. Number 2, Evolution dumps Randy Orton.
Thumbs up. Thumbs down.
And then they have listed at number 1, Seth Rollins betrays the Shield. That would have been my number 2, and then we go from there.
Truth be told, that should have been number 2, only for the simple fact that they're back together now. Seth Rollins won't be in the turning of heel next.
Now, here's the thing. I've been watching before we get into this list because it's something that we've been saying on this show for many, many episodes, that we felt like the Shield should be a unit that fights amongst themselves, but unifies for a common enemy. But it's like one of those things, like, I can talk about my brother, but you can't.
You can't, yep.
I hope that's where they're going, especially with how they teased the turn this past Monday. I would hope that's the direction they're going, but I already know better. So at that point, once 2 members have defected and broken the Shield apart, how do you reunite them again?
Man, I mean, it'll take
anyone take it serious.
It'll take something circumstantial, like similar to the fact of when Ron Garvin saw Jimmy getting his he got blinded by the hairspray.
And then at which point, how stupid does it make Roman Reigns look to accept a reconciliation twice, knowing that either he's going to be the one to turn the third time or he's going to get screwed over again.
Smart Money says that the announcing of such an event or something to that effect would have no bearing on the people that's watching it. It's a wasted opportunity.
You're right. I'm putting logic to an illogical situation.
Hashtag broken pencil logic. There's another hashtag for you.
There it is. Use it. Don't use it sparingly. Use it as much as you like. We took that and said, you know what? Screw it. We are going to make our own list.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
We're not going to limit this to we're not gonna limit this to WWE. We're gonna make it all encompassing. And we're gonna do 10, 5 apiece.
We got some good ones.
Go ahead with your first one, sir.
My first one that I can tell you off the top of my head, when Ole Anderson turns on Thunderbolt Patterson, World Championship Wrestling also could be categorized as Georgia Championship Wrestling, but still it's part of the National Wrestling Alliance back in around 84, 85-ish. The story here is Ole brings in Arn Anderson to reform the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, and Thunderbolt Patterson and Ole Anderson are the tag team champions, or the NWA National Tag Team Champions. And since Ole is parting ways with Thunderbolt, because Ole had a really funny way of parting ways with folks. He used to tell you that he ain't your friend no more. And
that's the most Ole Anderson thing ever.
Yeah, so Thunderbolt's walking around with one belt, and he's walking around with the other belt, and then they had a match to determine like whoever the winning team was, they got the other belt from the belt from the loser,
right,
to become the national tag team champions. And he in turn, Ole Anderson that is, and Arn Anderson started doing the Minnesota Wrecking Crew thing, working on an arm, and became the champions. And that became the reason why this is on the list is because that is the precursor to Ole, Arn, Tully, and Rick becoming the Four Horsemen.
Excellent choice, sir. My number 5. Another Anderson turn.
Oh.
Because the Andersons are dirty double crossers when it comes down to it.
You egg-sucking dog.
Arn Anderson turns on Dustin Rhodes at Bash at the Beach 1994. This was a situation where the Stud Stable in this case was Terry Funk and Buckhouse Buck, were giving Dustin all sorts of problems, and Colonel Robert Parker. Dustin went looking for a partner. At this particular time, Arn Anderson was in the midst of I guess you could call it a face run.
Okay.
As if you could ever consider Arn Anderson to be a full-fledged face. But he coerced him into being his tag team partner. Dustin ends up working the majority of the match, tags in Arn Anderson, and at the very end, when Arn gets in, DDT. They proceed to break Dustin's arm, storyline-wise, which leads to Dustin Rhodes recruiting the help of his father, the late, great Dusty Rhodes. The American Dween, baby. Dusty Rhodes, where Dusty cut one of the greatest promos in mid-90s history about, I don't want you to find another egg-sucking dog to be your partner. I want to be your partner.
Complete with Dusty asthma attack.
Yeah, complete with asthma attack and tears and the whole nine. So that is my number 5, Arn Anderson turning on Dustin Rhodes at Bash at the Beach 1990-4.
All right, my next one, I got the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, turning on Dusty Rhodes. For some odd reason, they felt that Dusty was in the way of them in their shine with Paul Ellering and Paul Ellering in the corner, and they were the World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. Well, they lose the belt, and Animal takes off a spike from the shoulder pads, and they start digging this spike into Dusty's eye, blinding him temporarily. And it's probably one of the only times, in life that you ever would have seen Dick Murdoch, the Texas redneck himself, or Captain Redneck as he called himself. It's probably one of the only times you'd ever see him be a face. And he said he came out to be at the aid of Dusty Rhodes because he was not going to let anybody try to blind him, take out this man's eye in his career. So that's the next one on my list. That's the LOD, the Road Warriors, turning on Dusty Rhodes, who were the World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. Now, real quick on that one too, because they were monster over. That heel turn didn't last too long and definitely wasn't well received by the fans of the National Wrestling Alliance. What you got, man?
Number 4, Lex Luger turns on Sting, 1992. So around this time, Sting is the United States Heavyweight Champion. This turn takes place actually at a Clash of the Champions. Now, for those of you who know WCW history, Sting and Lex Luger have always been the best of friends in storyline and in real life, but up until this point, they were on good terms as far as the crowd was concerned, even though Lex Luger had aligned himself with Harley Race and become the World Heavyweight Champion and become a heel. Well, these mysterious boxes keep getting delivered to Sting. These lavish gifts that keep coming out of these boxes. And as Jim Cornette would say, if he comes out of a box, he's over. So the last gift is delivered at the Clash of Champions, where Sting has this title defense against Rick Rude later that night. There's this large caravan being carried by a bunch of oiled up guys in black tights. Just get past that. Try to get past that.
It was a rough watch.
So like really Joey Ryan-ish. Like it's almost Joey Ryan-ish from All In.
Mow wow.
Right. So out of this large caravan comes Medusa. This is a precursor to her joining the Dangerous Alliance, because this is during the formation of the Dangerous Alliance.
For our WWE constituents, that you would know her better as Alundra Blaze.
If you don't know Medusa and you do know Alundra Blaze, I have issues.
Slap yourself and resubscribe to our podcast
2 times. But Medusa comes out, does a little bit of seduction, some adult themes, and gets Sting turned around. Now Sting sells it. He's screaming to the crowd. He's playing to it. And all of a sudden, out of the caravan comes Lex Luger with a vicious chop block and attack on Sting's leg, causing Sting to be carted off to the hospital and do the working angle where he steals the ambulance, comes back to the arena only to lose the belt to Ravishing Rick Rude. However, it does set him up for challenging Lex Luger at Super Brawl for the World Heavyweight Championship, in which Sting wins.
Very well said, sir.
Wheelhouse.com.
That is your wheelhouse. I have the Horseman turning on Sting.
Okay, good one.
So this was probably around the time of like 91-ish.
Actually, it's 90.
90, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So, of course, Ole Anderson back into the good graces, and you got Flair back in effect here. And
Woo!
woo! So that's the auto tune. Rick Flair go woo! Did you woo? Wait, woo! There it is, right there.
Ric Flair drip.
Flair was getting manhandled, and Sting came out for it because no one was helping Flair because Flair was fresh back, and no one was helping Flair.
Back when Gary Hart was directing traffic.
He was calling on all comers.
The Great Muta and Terry Funk was putting the boots to Flair's ass.
And Flair had no love from anybody.
No love, no help.
As we proceed, Sting comes out for the save and now becomes part of the Horsemen. Even though he thinks he's a horseman, he's really not a horseman.
Fun fact, this happens because Tully Blanchard did not come back after leaving WWE.
Well, that was pretty much the end of that era of the Horsemen after Arn came back from his quick 18-month stint with WWE.
At that point, you're playing musical chairs with the Fourth Horseman.
Yes, yeah, and that was a horrible chair to be sitting in. At any rate, Sting and Flair start to tag and have each other's back, and
even headlined a pay-per-view or two.
Yeah, and then Clash of the Champions.
Yes,
Clash of the Champions. Ole came out. Of course, everybody's dressed up in tuxedos because the Horsemen always showed up in tuxedos at major events.
Texas Shootout, if you're looking for it on the network.
There's that, and he basically told Sting, "Hey, we ain't your friend no more, and you never was one of us. So you need to move Mosley along before we hurt you."
Yeah, you thought you were gonna take this title shot. Nah, son, you're not taking a title shot. You're not gonna be a horseman anymore. Look, Ole had the worst ring positioning ever because he was like back to the camera, but he was cutting a promo and telling Sting in like the most calm serial killer tone, "Look, we'll give you an opportunity to leave here with your legs.
And if you don't take this opportunity, we're gonna take your legs.
We're gonna take your legs away from you." It's just straight loan shark, just absolute loan shark behavior. And Sting got mouthy, and they didn't even give him time.
And all he wanted to know is, "What? This is some bull. Like, why were you doing this to me? Why did it do anything?"
And then
that was it.
Yeah.
One clip and a figure four and a couple of knee drops and yeah.
Ding ding. Out of there.
Yeah. So who you got next?
Let's see. 1997. ECW. Barely Legal. Bill Alfonso turns on Taz.
Referee, manager to the Stars, Bill Alfonso.
The whistleblower of Team Taz turns on Taz to join Rob Van Dam and Sabu. The backstory I don't have as much of because I didn't have as much access to ECW during the time where this happened. But the promo that Bill Alfonso cut after the match was like, "I bet all my money on Sabu," and Sabu lost. So he was planning the turn anyway, but he lost his money in the process. It's but it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. But to me, that was a pretty good turn.
I mean, think about it. You had Paul, you had Tommy, you had Bully Ray, all with pencils, writing, not necessarily scripting or booking the matches, but you had them at least writing.
Right.
That was hilarious within itself.
Absolutely. What you got?
My next one. This is the only reason why this isn't number one all time is because this is a regional thing. Here in Texas,
It's still up there though.
yeah, here in Texas, you revere two things: Longhorns and the Von Erichs. And we have the Von Erichs.
I'd actually replace Longhorns with football on Fridays.
Well, they're or Tuesday for that matter.
True that. True.
Depending on what part of Texas you're in.
True.
You had the Von Erichs and the Freebirds who were actually pretty close until all of the Freebirds showed up, and Terry decides that he wants to play the muscle, and Michael Hayes decides he wants some spotlight because he's tired of these pretty boys taking all the girls.
Good job, Terry.
Bam, bam, if you will.
Yeah.
And at any rate, they end up slamming a door on Carrie's head and end up jumping Kevin and I believe Mike. Because I believe this was post David's death.
I had to go back and check the footage.
Yeah. So I believe it was Carrie, Mike, and Kevin who were all involved in this.
The World Heavyweight title rematch inside the cage.
Yep. And
Flair was involved.
So Flair was in the match. Of course, he was a crimson mess. Not even a mask. It was a crimson mess. And you have Michael Hayes as the special guest referee and Terry Bam Bam Gordy outside the ring as the special enforcer. So as Carrie gets within striking distance to go to the door, Terry opens up the door, smashes it, and then the rest is history. Flair ends up with the title still, and the Freebirds end up with probably a 2 to 3 year war on the Von Erichs.
All the money was made. All the money possible to be made was made with this rivalry.
Almost every match you can think of was had. You had captains matches. You had Buddy Jack Roberts in a shark cage above the ring. Tag team matches, no DQ matches, Texas Bull Rope matches,
cage matches, street fights.
You name it. They all from town to town. They're running it. Even from different territories, they're running this.
Counting this money.
Yeah. Shouts out to the Von Erichs and of course the Freebirds.
Indeed. Number 2 on my list involves Ric Flair in a cage too. 1997 Fall Brawl. Curt Hennig, who had taken not the dog spot, not a liver spot,
my spot,
the spot of Arn Anderson, turning on the Four Horsemen and joining the NWO, slamming Ric Flair's head in a cage and putting him out of commission for some off-camera surgery, but taking him out of commission, joining the NWO, Curt Hennig turning on the Four Horsemen, number 2 on my top 5 betrayals in wrestling history.
Man, you actually were going in order here.
Inadvertently. Because now my number 1 gonna be like the number 1.
Yeah, that is the number 1.
I didn't realize. I realized it like after the first 2. I was like, yeah, we going in order.
Now,
inadvertently.
Here's some more help I need on this one here too.
I got you.
I kind of want to switch these.
Do whatever you want.
Let me see here.
Do your thing.
Let me go. Actually, because I'm gonna give a bonus cut on that. So we got from 1995. It would be the Raw after Mania. It turned out to be the night after Mania.
Absolutely.
Psycho Sid becomes Psycho Sid by turning on HBK after WrestleMania 11,
starting Shawn Michaels on the quest to realize his boyhood dream. The night before at WrestleMania 11, the match of the night had nothing to do with the main event. The main event happened before the actual main event. Shawn Michaels put on a clinic with Diesel, doing some and this is 1995. So if you go back and watch this match now, it's very similar and very up to date. The match ages well because a lot of the things being done are what are done on a regular basis now. But for 1995, a lot of what was done in that match by Shawn Michaels was the first time it had been done on pay-per-view in America.
And this is actually probably the one match that started the trend of Shawn Michaels becoming Mr. WrestleMania.
Absolutely agreed. So within that, Sid plays a major role in the finish. He kind of shows some disdain. Shawn in the post-match interview almost shows a little bit of disdain at Sid. The next night, there's a promo. Shawn Michaels, kind of gets a little, chatty about his not needing Sid. Sid takes offense. We got power bombs raining from the sky. Shawn goes out on a stretcher. Sid's heel, Shawn's face, Diesel is taking up for his little buddy. You know, Sid gets a couple of matches with Diesel. Whoop-de-woo. Now all of a sudden, when Shawn comes back, he's a super face.
And Diesel and Sid's nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found.
Probably back in Memphis somewhere.
No. Actually, he was there for a little bit, so they got a couple of TV matches out of it, and then eventually, like Shawn and Sid went back and forth a few times because Sid is who eventually beat Shawn for the title after he won it at WrestleMania 12. He's also who gave the title right back to Shawn at the Royal Rumble 97 in San Antonio. I'm trying to think, is there another instance where they ran into each other?
Wheelhouse,
fam. Wheelhouse.com. .com.
This ain't just number one in your eyes. This is just the Billy.
GOAT status. My number one. Hulk Hogan becomes Hollywood Hulk Hogan by joining and forming the NWO. Bash at the Beach, 1996.
The yellow and red joined the big main and the medium-sized main.
As Tony Schiavone would put it, Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell.
Tony Schiavone for WCW.
Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell. Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell. You dig? So Hogan had gone through a long, lengthy stint of being booed. No one was wanting to say their prayers or eat their vitamins. They got tired of that stuff, and the character wasn't evolving. So it wasn't on TV as much. What involved? Eric Bischoff has gone on record saying that it was his idea to have Hogan be the third man because, you know, it just, to him, it made the most sense. Plan B was Sting, but it was a tentative plan B and not one they really wanted to go with from the accounts that I've heard.
Which was pretty significant because the whole Sting angle was Sting was being played to think that because they had the Black Scorpion and they also had the fake Sting, and you had people thinking that this was the actual your hero face paint rat tail having Sting as being someone that was
because this was still like midway Surfer Sting.
Yeah, so this was his he stopped dyeing his hair blonde, but he was still with the loud face paint,
still neon colors.
Yeah,
and he was the franchise of WCW, so I understand how that probably would have played off, but I don't think the NWO would have had the same effect if you had a face painted Sting. So Sting would have had to lose the face paint completely.
And this led to a year of Sting as silence and a year of him taunting the NWO from the rafters.
So this absolutely worked out for the best for everybody involved.
Sting became a legend. The NWO became lore. By all means, like if the money couldn't have been printing fast enough for how crazy this was, because people who did not watch wrestling knew what the NWO represented.
This pay-per-view is on a must-watch list. Like the entire show, for the most part, is absolutely entertaining. You get to see Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis. What's another really good match on that pay-per-view? That one's good enough. I'm gonna be honest with you. That one is good enough by itself. You can just watch that one. You have a hilarious street fight.
And that was the curtain jerker, wasn't it?
That was the curtain
jerker.
Yeah,
that was outstanding.
Look, if you don't watch that pay-per-view for anything other than the first match and the last match, you would have gotten your time's worth. Those two matches, period.
Bash at the Beach 1996 is the pay-per-view that we're talking about.
1996, available on the WWE Network.
And
we need like a market share at this point.
Man, something. At least a free membership.
I mean, can we get some free stock? I'll take that.
Give me 2 shares. I want 2 shares.
Give me 2 shares.
Let's see here.
You got the match card for that? I'm
actually pulling it up right now.
That's what's up.
Let's see.
Because I can tell you which ones are good. I remember John Tenta versus Big Bubba in a what is it, like a bag of quarters on a pole match or something crazy like that. Like
let me run it down. We got Jim Powers versus Hugh Morris.
That didn't make air. Well, that didn't make the VHS that came out when I actually saw it. Now it's probably on the network now, because they show the dark matches and everything.
Yeah,
else.
this was actually a dark match. Yeah,
I had the VHS.
Now these were for WCW main event. You had the Steiner Brothers versus Harlem Heat.
Okay.
With Sister Sherry and Colonel Robert Parker.
They probably should have been on the pay-per-view.
Bobby Walker.
Hard work Bobby
Walker versus Billy Kidman.
And he's not a trap rapper either. He actually means like hard work and dedication.
Yeah, Rock Roll Express versus Fire and Ice. Big Scott Norton and the Ice Train. Eddie Guerrero versus Lord Steven Ringo in a 3-minute clinic. That's a short match, but that was...
Bruh, I'd have taken that match and the Steiners versus Harlem Heat and put those... I'll find 2 matches to pull off this card and put on that pay-per-view.
All right, so then we have the main match card, which was Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis, John Tenta versus Big Bubba Rogers.
Replace that one.
That was the Carson City Silver Dollar match.
Yeah, you could have put that on the pre-show for me, homeboy.
Diamond Dallas Page versus Jim Duggan in a tape fist match, and Diamond Dallas Page wins.
That was funny. It was funny enough, but you probably could have replaced that too.
The Nasty Boys versus the Public Enemy. Rest in peace to the Public Enemy.
Both of them.
Double dog collar match.
That was insane. It was an ECW style match.
And mind you, no one really knew what ECW was at that point. It was still super reach, like I'd say like super as in like locally Philadelphia, but it was larger than Philadelphia, but wasn't quite national yet.
If anybody was gonna know, it might have been that crowd in Florida, just because they're on that eastern seaboard, and you might get some of that television down in Florida, but chances are, yeah, it's a concentrated thing.
And PE was all over the place, but their home was always ECW.
Right on.
Dean Malenko versus Disco Inferno by submission. You know, Dean Malenko had so many moves.
That was a way better match than it had any chance to be. That was the first time you saw Disco Inferno actually take a match serious, storyline-wise.
Yep.
So it was actually pretty good. I wouldn't replace that one, but maybe.
Steve Mongo McMichael versus Joe Gomez.
Replace that. That's where you get the other match
that should have been on the WCW main event.
Replace that, because, yeah, everybody in that match was green.
Ric Flair with Elizabeth and Woman,
Against Conan.
rest in peace to Woman, to defeat Conan, and this is for the WCW US title. I never realized that Flair actually held the WCW US title.
Yep.
And then you have
at what is he, 47 at that point?
Yep, more than likely,
Yep.
somewhere around that. Double A, Arn Anderson, and one of the members of the Horsemen at the time, the Nameless Wonder, versus the Giant, Paul White, also known as the Big Show,
And Kevin Sullivan.
and the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan.
That was a pretty good match. That was a great match, too.
As hard as Kevin Sullivan works and the things that he does to make it look like he's stretching you out, it's kind of hard to see a bad match.
It was the start of him and the Nameless Wonder. It was in the midst of their real life beef starting to bleed over onto television.
Factual, because that was nasty.
Ooh.
Then you finally had at the end the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, defeating Randy, Sting, and Luger, and everybody thought Sting was going to be the third member of that team. And when it was revealed that it was, Bad Luck Terry.
For the most part, that might be the best. That might be the best pay-per-view presentation of that era for them.
Because, I mean, everything else was pretty subpar, especially since they were putting on their money into Mondays and Thursdays, or Mondays specifically.
Yeah, Starrcade 97 had the drama, but there were some hiccups in the card and a couple of hiccups as far as the main event.
Definitely.
But yeah, like as far as building drama and then delivering with the match card, like maybe Halloween Havoc 97. Like the top 5 WCW pay-per-views of the Bischoff era happened in 96 and 97.
There you go.
And there you have it.
All right, so, and that's how